Hello, and welcome to Gallivant with Chris and Tony. Thank you for tuning in. We recognize that for many, this cruise might be a once-in-a-lifetime bucket list vacation. For us, we were celebrating our 30th wedding anniversary. Even though Carnival wasn't our top choice of cruise line, it did align with our desired vacation time frame, and we were able to recreate our honeymoon photo that we took in Kauai. Now, overall, we enjoyed a relaxing escape from our busy work schedules, and we were able to experience all that the beautiful islands of Hawaii have to offer. However, when it comes down to it, we feel it is crucial to share our honest experience aboard the Carnival Radiance on this 14-day cruise. Honestly, our biggest mistake was not conducting more thorough research on the Carnival Radiance beforehand, as earlier online reviews did touch on some of the same issues that we encountered. Please stay tuned until the end of the video when we will disclose the total cost of our 14-day Hawaiian Journeys cruise, because we feel it is important to share the amount for those considering this trip.
Hello!
Hello!
Thank you for tuning in to Gallivant with Chris and Tony. Today, we're going to do pros and cons of the Carnival Radiance on a 14-day Hawaiian cruise.
Now, normally, the Radiance is used for 3 and 4 day Mexican booze cruises out of Long Beach.
Yes, and it's a ship that's basically designed, in my opinion, for that. So there are more cons than pros, but there are some pros.
There are some pros. We'll start with the pro, which was embarkation from Long Beach was super easy.
Yes, very fast. Didn't matter if you're platinum, diamond, or just a first-time cruiser. It was a very quick process. You were through it.
Maybe 15. But there was no lines. Yeah. They were calling all groups, by the time we got there, and it was about 12:15. Our embarkation time was about 12:30, but it was super simple.
Yeah, definite pro on that. Another pro is the bed in the cabin, very comfortable. Neither one of us, I don't think, had any kind of problem sleeping.
No, we did ask for extra pillow.
Yeah, I asked our cabin steward for pillows. And the room layout. If you watch our video on the tour of the cabin itself,
6343 was the cabin, so it was right in the middle.
Yeah, and we actually did a guaranteed booking, so we didn't pick the cabin. It was nice that we got the position. But the cabin, nice layout. If you watch that, you see there's plenty of space for storage. The pro
was Kieran's director.
Yeah, this was only his
third cruise,
and he was really good.
Very good, very good. In fact, all the fun squad was,
and the crew. That was another pro, definite. The entire crew.
The entertainment was a pro. On the first half. In my opinion, the first half was a lot better than the second half. As far as what they brought in for entertainment, Washboard Joe, him and his friend.
Yeah, this was a duo out of Brazil. We asked if they had CDs or just how we could download their music. And
he's phenomenal.
It's really cool. You see our video on that.
And I'll put it right here.
Created an instrument out of a washboard. We also had it there. Piece of wood. Cymbal. We had like 5 different things there. Piece of wood.
All going at the same time.
He's like a one-man band.
And a kazoo.
And his buddy played the keyboard.
And sang really well. But we tried to watch them as many times as we could.
But the entertainment that was brought on the second half, there were a lot of people that liked them. So it's all personal opinion.
Right.
But we found the first leg of the cruise to be
a little bit better.
We have 3 elevator banks, forward, middle, mid, and aft. There were 6 elevators at each bank.
Except for the forwards, which had another 4 at the front. They're the glass. As another pro, they did have a few free movies on demand on the television. And most people wouldn't be in their rooms, but if you had some downtime. And at night, the mid-second day of the sea days to when you get into the Hawaiian Islands, there's no television on their little, the Home and Garden, travel channel, all of that. It doesn't exist. The satellite doesn't pick it up.
So yeah, a pro would be that they offered at least, I'd say there's about 8 free.
They do not
and
rotate.
then there were some that were on it that you could buy for $7.99, I believe was one.
Any other? I just had noted Lido food was actually decent.
Yeah, the Lido food was
It was diverse.
towards the end, and I believe on any long cruise, I would imagine, 14 days the longest we've been on, but you could tell they're running out of things.
Yeah.
So the first, I believe, again, the first leg of it, the food was better.
Yes. So do we want to start the cons? Let me get the notes.
I'm sure there. I mean, look, we're coming back alive, so that's a pro. That's a pro. The ship didn't sink.
We're not in Long Beach yet, so please don't jinx that.
Number one con is the layout of the ship.
Oh yes,
that really dictated a
bullet.
lot of your. I don't want to say your mood. It's what you make of it. You're going to make the best of it. You're on vacation, and we did. We made it. But the layout of the ship, there are only
three.
Well, there's only two real full decks, 5 and 10, that you can go from forward to aft. Straight walking. All the other ones are chopped up, where you have to take an elevator to the next floor up and then go across on that and come back down, like on 4.
Yeah.
They have
Stairs,
a dining
up,
room,
down, over,
the
down.
sunrise dining room.
Sunrise dining room.
That sometimes it's closed, the doors are closed on it, so you can't access that as a main thoroughfare. But when it is open, it's open because they're using it as a game. It's a makeshift game room.
And everybody was in it.
And craft room, game craft. I mean, there were people doing mahjong, crochet, card playing, puzzle building. All in a dining room.
Dominoes.
Because they don't have any other venue for you to do that.
There's no library. There's really inadequate seating, and we'll go into that.
So yeah, the layout of the ship is super choppy. Please watch our tour of the ship because you'll see that it's really choppy.
And I mean, limited insight going back and forth. Also, around the ship, there is no circle.
There's no outer deck,
not below or above, that really goes full length of the ship.
And then, let me just say, we started off with over 3,000 people on this ship.
3,008.
Over 3,000 people on this ship, and only having 2 decks that allow you to get from forward to aft without having to take elevators created so much jam in certain areas.
Right.
Because there was only one way to get to the dining rooms in the back,
And you have to walk through the photo section, which is real thin, and when you have lines going to the liquid lounge, because you had to be anywhere you wanted to be an hour before you needed to be there just to get a seat or be in line to get a seat.
And if you are sensitive to smoke, like smoking smoke, like I said, 5 and 10 are the only 2 decks that really go.
And that one goes through.
I don't want to say you're forced to walk through 5 or above Lido. You have to walk through the casino. You have no choice but to walk through the casino, or to take stairs and elevators down to 4 and then come back up, or vice versa on 6 to skip that. But if you want to be on a deck where you're walking from the lobby area where they have some good entertainment quite often, and you wanted to get to the back where they have the bars, Alchemy, Red Frog, you had to walk through the casino, and it stunk
all the
like
time.
Smoke all the time.
Well, speaking of smell, the smell of this ship is like no other.
Well, there were times when it was super, super in your face with some hanging pine tree air freshener.
Horrible sewage smell, covered up by a black box spray smell that doesn't get it doesn't have any air flow anywhere really. It just overpowering, especially on 6.
Yeah, oddly enough, in the answer show that we sat through, where they had a lot of the officers up on stage, somebody did ask one of them about the smell of smoke in the casino, and I'd imagine it'd be probably his same answer, even just for the malodorous smell that we were smelling. Is that he says they have some sort of ultraviolet something or other that supposed to
the smoke.
Yeah, supposed to. I don't know. I never heard.
You could never find a seat in the casino.
You could. I went in there at 7 a.m. after working out, and there are seats at 7 a.m. if you want to get up just to go gamble.
Get up at 7 to get up?
But yeah, if you're out at dinner time, there's no finding a place, or you'd have to wait. And that's what somebody said, is that they had to actually kind of stand behind. If they wanted a particular machine that they wanted to play on, they just waited
And
waited for it.
Yeah, because that kind of touches on the two small areas of buffet, gym, lobby, and atrium. Your main areas are just too small for the ship. There's
a ship with 3,000 people.
Right. With nothing.
I heard somebody mention that last night they had an entertainment show in the Red Frog pub. It was a tribute to the 50s, and she said it was packed. But it was packed every time there was some sort of entertainment.
Right.
I mean, packed to the point where you'd have to be standing out into the walkway area to listen.
We got there 45 minutes.
We wanted to get there for that. Yeah, we got there 45 minutes ahead.
There was another band playing that was already, the house was packed. This was everybody was out. So, any area that you went to, you had to be there well before, or you didn't.
All of the venues are too small to handle a ship with 3,000 people.
And they're very weirdly shaped, so that you don't get a ship. You see, like in Red Frog, you have a stage that's kind of, but the rest of the room,
the seating that's in front of the stage, like if you want to actually watch what you're listening to, watch the performance, there's a handful of people that actually.
Well, and then they have the Alchemy Bar, the piano bar, and the Red Frog pub all in the same corner.
Yeah, they're literally next to each other.
You have way too many people in a small space, and they overplay each other. So it's
layout's terrible.
Layout is very.
And then that would kind of segue into the venues being terrible. The venues,
just
horribly
to play trivia games.
Horribly designed.
We try to do crafts. There's no really place table wise. In the Red Frog pub, you're at bar tops level tables, and you're trying to work with beads and stuff, and they're flying all over the place because the tables are small. It's
one of the venues called the Limelight Lounge.
You get in there, the venue itself is so oddly shaped, like a comma almost, that you wouldn't be able to see.
There's a good 20 feet of tables and seating that is so far out of view of the stage. I don't know. They had some monitors on the wall, so I don't know if they'd be showing the comedians most often were in this lounge. Where would you even want to go if you're going to watch it on a monitor?
Well, and when we watched the comedians in the showroom, they packed out the showroom, so we couldn't even imagine what the smaller venue would have been. Theater, which isn't very big to begin with, and has that weird individual seating where they got rid of the benches, which accommodated more people, in my opinion, that had the little tables in front. So if you were playing bingo or trying to do crafts or trying to do anything, it was in front of you.
And I get it. Some of you out there may be thinking, well, why don't you just stay in your room if you want to do something like that? Well, the idea is that's what we do. We get a balcony so we can sit and have quiet time, just cruising along in the ocean. But a lot of ships offer a designated library, a designated game room for those things. And on this ship, it was just bizarre to see that they were utilizing a dining room for that. And that was only, and it actually put it in the schedule of things that it's open from 9 till 4 for card playing. But like I said, people were in there doing crochet and puzzle making and playing dominoes and refreshments for you, which was
coffee.
Because it's a 14-day cruise with 8 full days at sea. You have to find something to do, and they just didn't offer enough really to do.
Right, which brings us to the
third con would be activities. They had a lot of trivia. But then the way they scheduled things was just kind of strange because they would overlap things. There would be really good things to do. Cool things where there'd be creativity at sea, which was their craft.
They did about
or some trivia topics, and they would overlap the two of them, and it didn't make any sense because you have 8 full days at sea. You have a full day to schedule things out for people to break things up, and there would be
parts where we'd be looking at the itinerary, going, well, there's nothing between 2 and 4.
They would have their main performers, if that's a pro. Their main performers are really good.
A lot better than the Spears.
Yeah. They were like
2
at night,
o'clock,
like after
4 o'clock.
like you could go to a late dinner seating at 7 and then go to a show at 9, and they had one of the days was like 4 o'clock. Wasn't the
Well, one was at 2 o'clock. That
Rock
was
of
the
Ages show was like at
Rock
4
of-
in the afternoon.
that was the 80s show, and then they had the 60s show, which was at 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
So it was oddly scheduled entertainment and activities.
Well, and for it to be a Journeys cruise, now this is our first Journeys cruise.
That'd be another. Anybody, if you have experienced a Journeys cruise, please comment on what made your
What
cruise a Journeys cruise,
made
because
the Journeys cruise.
we're still trying to figure out why they called this a
Yesterday
Journeys
they
cruise.
had the Journeys throwback. To the 80s. Carnival Capers, the full paper.
They threw back to like 1982, I think was what the Kieran, the cruise
Right.
director,
So,
said.
and their Journeys thing was they did games from the 80s. And their dinner menu was from the 80s.
As far as a Journeys cruise, where you would think it, they're giving the specific title of Journeys cruise, you think there's going to be more to it offered in terms of something making it special.
Look at us. We're on muster drill.
Good
The
times.
old school muster drill.
Where they did throwback games on the Lido deck,
Well,
or
they did have a one that I know of in schedule of a lectures that they were having on Hawaii on the way there. They did have ukulele playing on the way there. They did okay. So the first day at sea, they did a lei making with fresh flowers in the limelight, and they did it at 8 o'clock in the morning,
I think it was 9.
9 o'clock in the morning, and we got
But
there.
you would have had to get there by 8 o'clock.
No. We were there 10 minutes before 8 o'clock. We would have.
No, we were there 10 before 9.
10 before 9.
You would have had to get there by 8.
They were completely done with it before it started.
They knew they were going to run out because they specifically gave
People numbers.
stickers.
Tags.
If you got a sticker, you were going to get the materials to make your lei.
Right.
And we were walking in 10 minutes prior to where it was supposed to start, thinking we're getting there early.
In time.
But evidently, like I said, you had to get there an hour early because... And then the lady invites you to... Well, you can stay and watch and see at the end if there's anything left over, you can then make a lei.
Make a flower for
you
your
can
hair.
watch everybody else do their lei, and if there's anything left over, it's all for you.
That's I mean, that was what we saw as far as the Journeys cruise. So let's just zoom in here. Instead of doing a line, they're picking and choosing who gets to come up and get flowers.
Check. Hey friends, for those that just currently joined,
is
just
a
wait
huge
until I
cluster.
call you so you can come to the table and take your flowers. Once again, no panic. We have a lot of more supplies coming up. Just take the flowers as fast as you can so we can have more people coming to the table as well. If I haven't called you just yet, don't get in line. Please, if I haven't called you just yet, don't get in line.
Else would have said, hey, you know what?
They were selling pins.
That said Journeys.
You could buy it. You think they would be giving it to you since
It was
you
$7.
paid to be on this Journeys cruise?
Yes, because that was anyway. Going off on the tangent of that, it paid. It goes.
I'm gonna say a con was we are platinum with Carnival, and they give a little it's not a secret, everybody, a little presentation for platinum and diamond members where the captain comes out with the other officers and cocktails are served. We're sitting there. And we weren't there for the free cocktails. We wanted to see the captain and whatnot, but I don't know if people were just taking all the cocktails before they made it over to us.
People were very thirsty.
Yeah, there's a lot of people here.
Well, and then when we finally did get the drink, it was juice. There was no alcohol in it at all. It was. We were thinking, wow. Water. Spirit, they blew out the doors pretty much for their platinum diamond. That goes into the platinum and diamond thing,
But
on a Journeys cruise,
Yeah.
you pretty much forego all of your, you don't get the disembark.
But
You
anyways,
don't
what
get
I
the
was going to
embark.
say is that we did go to the same thing on when we went on the Spirit, Carnival Spirit. We went to that, and it was a totally different experience. It was
Yes.
well organized.
Yes.
You sat down. They brought everybody out champagne or cocktails or wine, whatever you wanted, and everybody got a refreshment and got to enjoy the show. That was a con because it's like you're supposed to get a little perk having cruise with them as much as you have, and it really was. It was really
It
loud.
was whatever. I mean, we touched on the two smaller areas, especially the buffet. Now the buffet is a whole nother. For 3,000 people, that buffet should have been the same size as the Spirit.
Yeah, that's Lido.
And just a little tiny round oval with some side.
Well, it's an island.
rounds.
It's an island, and on each side of the island, the same thing is served on both sides. But there's
Right.
maybe 10 hot items. I think there's 5 and 5.
Right. There's always a rice. There's always a mashed potato. There's always a vegetable, or Moroccan food.
But when they had something really good, it was good.
Right.
It's just
the layout. Like last night, they had fried shrimp on the buffet line, which created a line all the way around through the hot items.
I think fried shrimp was something everybody was waiting for because everybody was there to get fried shrimp.
Well, and Lido, a normal MDR dinner was a weird night. I'll post the.
So it is again. The Lido dining is a really small area.
Well, and because it was inclement weather where it was cold and windy and a little bumpy outside, nobody wanted to be outside. Everybody wanted to be inside.
Which we benefited from yesterday.
Because we sat outside. But it's overpowered. I mean, it just people on top of people.
And like we said in the beginning, this is based on this ship doing a 14-day cruise, Hawaiian cruise. I believe it probably would be fine for a 3 and 4, which is what it does, 3 or 4 day cruise.
Right.
Because you're kind of on and off relatively quick. But when you have 14 days to spend on this ship and there's 8 of them at sea, you really start feeling how crowded and congested and how there's no flow to getting around.
And then towards day, the 4th day at sea and coming to Hawaii. Going to Hawaii, it was bumpy. It was moving. It was bumpy. It was rolly.
They put the barf bags out.
They did put the barf bags out. So there was a lot of movement. And by day 3 of that, I think people were just holding sticks to get to Hawaii. They were going to paddle the boat themselves. And kind of on the same way coming back here, you're starting to see the temperament of people change a little bit. So impatient.
But once we saw, we pointed a lot of things out to each other right away. We're like, okay, we make the best of it. Mm-hmm. We went to a formal dinner. I'd say that was a pro. Their lobster tails were much larger than I remember them being.
That was the Captain's Gala, which was a little different than like what we were on with the Spirit. It just seemed a little. It had
elegant night.
Elegant, a little bit different.
They put out so many areas, and we took some pictures last night of these areas that they would take up to have big backdrops, for pictures. And it wasn't a formal night, so it wasn't like you were dressed up.
Nobody was using them.
The photographers are just standing there, and they asked and it's taking up space where they could have seating around the venue. So they had one right in front of the Red Frog Pub, taking up space where they could have had more
chairs.
Seating. Right across from that, and at the Alchemy, taking up space, and nobody was having their pictures taken. I don't know exactly how to say it, but the fact that they're giving away so many cruises now for your gambling that you're doing,
it seems like it's cheapened it a little. I mean, it's almost like Carnival, the people who are paying for their cruises versus the people who are gambling and winning free cruises.
It's like anything. Once something starts being free, they're not going to give you the quality that it should be. Right. So it has brought the quality, I believe, of cruising down.
Right. I mean, we've been cruising since what, 2008?
2008, so we're going on 20... No, not quite 20.
This is our 26th cruise.
Yeah, 26th cruise, 17 years, and we've seen a huge change, which is understandable. It could be a change for the better, but it's definitely been a change for the worse.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you used to get the little toiletries in the beginning, and now they barely give you a bar of soap.
Yeah. So
There's no lotion. There's no nothing.
But anyways, it's like you said, they did at least 3 times on different events we were at. The fun squad person would say, "Let me see a show of hands of who's been to the casino," and you see, more than half the room raises their hand, and then she would make a comment about, "So who's winning?" You see, like nobody raises their hand.
maybe one or two people.
Yeah. So, but I think it's funny that is something for them to bring up, knowing that so many people now gamble on these cruises.
Mm-hmm.
But we lived in Las Vegas for 22 years, so we're well aware of how casinos comp you, and that's understandably that's what they're doing is comping. But yeah, it has brought
And
the
also
quality.
something
It
that
has
we don't
brought
want to be around anymore.
It has brought the quality down.
But we did want to play, and every time we went, you couldn't find a seat. You couldn't find anything, and then you didn't want to be there because it smelled like smoke so bad. So
Yeah, on this particular ship.
well, and I did feel bad for those people with the mobility issues, the scooters, the wheelchairs, the walkers, just because the areas where they're trying to get in and around, there's just no room. And we saw a lot where it was just trying to get around poles and.
So I guess at the end of it all, it is to just say that the Carnival Radiance is not made for a 14-day
we did
cruise.
12 years ago, Sapphire Princess to Hawaii.
We did a 14-day Hawaiian Cruise on Princess, like night and day.
Night and day.
But again, that was 12 years ago, and it was 2 different cruise lines.
Yes, but
yeah,
the layout of this ship is not designed for this type of cruise at all, in our opinion.
And this is just information for you. If you see a cruise on the Radiance for a 14-day Hawaiian, just food for thought. Food for thought.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's been plenty of people here who can't, are hating the fact that tonight's the last night. We, on the other hand, I mean.
Well, we had a good time. It was relaxing. It was relaxing, but yeah, I'm ready.
We would do it again. No, honestly, we're ready to, be done with this cruise and move on with the adventures and gallivant to somewhere else.
And if you're ever on a Carnival cruise and you happen to have a steward named Marvin, shout out to Marvin, excellent cabin steward.
Yes, he was amazing.
Yeah, he was. I'd say he was the number one highlight of the cruise. Actually, is he made it comfortable in the cabin. When we only asked for 2 things. We asked for ice, and he got that ice right away, and that was on the first day.
Yep.
And same thing with the pillow request. He had that. I mean,
every day we would leave the room, and he would ask if everything was okay and if he could do anything for us. And we felt kind of bad that we didn't have anything to say, because he's done all of it.
Very attentive.
Very attentive.
Yes. So I think that's it.
That would be it.
Really appreciate you watching. Please comment if you've been on the Radiance on a longer cruise other than 3 or 4 days, and you had a different experience, or
even if you were on a 3 or 4 day. I mean, is that all the people do here is drink? I don't know.
I don't know.
To do anything.
Well, hey, thanks for tuning in. We appreciate it. Hit that subscribe button.
And the like button. And comment.
Yes. Thanks. Bye.
Bye. So, for the moment you've all been waiting for, what we spent on this 14-day Hawaiian cruise on the Carnival Radiance. The flights to and from Los Angeles, and we did fly first, because it was a big anniversary trip, was $2,431.16. Our hotel pre-stay, car, and Uber back to the LAX airport was roughly about $500. We did book a guaranteed room through Costco. It was a non-suite balcony room, just your standard run-of-the-mill. For the 2 of us, it was $6,518. The cruise port, I didn't include food or anything. It was basically just the rentals and miscellaneous for the cars and whatnot. It was $1,031.93. So the total for this cruise, and we were completely shocked when we actually added all of this up and had the total, was $10,481.09. So was it worth it? In our opinion, no. Carnival can do a lot better for a price tag that's that large. So we just wanted to bring that to everybody's attention. We did have a great time. We did enjoy just being together. But $10,000 worth of great time? No. You're not getting a good quality experience. Be sure to check out the full Hawaiian playlist on YouTube. And check out the LA series as well, what we did on the pre-cruise side. We really did have a great time there.
We appreciate you watching, and please comment and let us know what you thought.